Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. My name is Nicole Miller Douglas. I am your Sergeant at Arms at the meeting. We provide a supportive environment and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is a premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we can all immediately see who is keeping the time. Our Toastmaster of the day will lead our meeting. He is Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. He has been active in Toastmasters for the past 3.5 years. He currently works as a market access manager at GlaxoSmithKline in India and serves as an area director for District 124. Over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam Sir, for your warm welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow Toastmaster, dear guests, and all the esteemed guests. Welcome to our meeting. So now, I want to introduce our toast of the day by our great leader, Paramjit Singh. He's our upcoming VP Education for an amazing club, Let Us Speak. Without further ado, I just want to hand over the podium to our leader, Toastmaster Paramjit. Please clap for Toastmaster Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mrinal. Hello, everyone. Change. I'm speaking so many times because change is happening every moment and every second. And this is something which is constant in the world. Of course, it comes sometime at very inconvenient times. It's like your mother-in-law showing up right when you are about to have a romantic candlelight dinner. You can't avoid it. You can't pretend it is not happening. So here we are, welcoming her with open arms and a forced smile. Take my own tug of war with my weight. For example, I don't understand how so many of you could maintain your weight same for all of your life. And I have to manage it daily basis by eating special extra dose. And now one of my other exercise which has added to this is buttoning up my shirt without popping a button. Trust me, it is really a walkout. Leave the waistline, let us come to the lifeline. It emphasizes a larger point that change is a continuous process. Whether it's your habits, your career, your professional life, or your personal lives, it is a continuous process. Our ability to manage it makes it in a way that either it's thriving or just surviving. I'm sure all of us present have witnessed so many changes in our lives. Few of them, we have managed them very effectively. And few of them, we are still challenging. We're still struggling, or we struggle. And if you delve deep into it, we'll find that why we are still struggling or couldn't manage them was because of our habits, our procrastination, our fixed mindsets, and our beliefs. That's the way, if we understand them and manage our changes effectively, this will lead us to a better life. Most of you have seen that these lifetimes need some changes, and embracing these changes, taking it as new perspectives, looking at them and other opportunities, will certainly help us to manage them effectively, and they will help us to make our challenges into wonderful opportunities. It's the same like your mother-in-law's problems. You can use them as an opportunities to work together, bonds, or share the bonds, or share the desert. Keeping the Charles Kettering's word in our mind, the world hates the change, but it is the only thing which brought progress. And managing changes effectively, let us move, adapt, move forward, and enjoy the everlasting changing life of our lives. So I request everyone to unmute yourself, raise your glasses, and toast to managing changes effectively. Managing changes effectively.
Managing changes effectively.
Effective.
Cheers.
Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much for raising the toast. And I'm totally echo with you. So why today I not talk about our theme of the meeting? I'll come to later part. But one statistic data I just want to share with all of you. The data which is published in the McKinsey in the year 2019. And the study suggests that active and visible sponsorship is the most important factor for successful change in any initiative. With 72% projects, strong executive sponsorship achieving their goals. So I think that's a critical factor. And thank you, our Toastmaster Paranjit Singh, to more emphasis on leadership, how managing change is important for us as an individual person or as an organizational perspective point of view. Next, I just want to call upon on the stage our timer of the day. Our timer of the day, Jessica. Toastmaster Jessica, podium is yours. Please describe your role as a timer.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day and fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. I will be timing all the speeches according to the timings on the agenda. And at the end of the speeches, I will put all the timings in the chat. Thank you. And over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for briefing your role as a timer. Now, next, role player play a very critical role because she will observe our proper uses of grammar and also introduce word of the day. So without further ado, I just welcome to our stage to our upcoming VP peer, Toastmaster Milton. Toastmaster Milton, podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of today. It is my pleasure to be your grammarian today. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers for their usage of language, and I will give my report at the end of the session when GE calls upon. I also introduced the word of today. I chose the word agile which means able to deal with new situations or changes quickly and successfully. An example of using the word is an agile leader is someone who can quickly assess situations and take actions. So I encourage each speaker to use word of today, agile. And I will give my report for proper and improper language usage and the usage of word of today. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster of today.
Thank you so much. I just want to, one data I just want to share with all of you, even why, what are the days important, I can just try to correlate that. Same way, managing change also very important. Because study from the McKinsey & Company suggests that 70% of change initiative are failed to achieve their goals. Why? I'll come to one case study. Before that, few things is very much important as a leader that you can successfully manage to change. So what are the factors are important? First and foremost is all about leadership development. Whether in the professional world or maybe in the Toastmaster world, that active visualization of leadership play a very critical role. Because if you actively engage with leadership development, the success rate of any organization is 72%. Another part I want to discuss about that is employee engagement. Why? According to Persuasive study, which suggests that employees are highly engaged. Employees, their success rate is 29%. They are more likely to success. And that's why engagement with your employees, with your leaders, play a very critical role to managing change. Next is clear communications. So clear communications, if you provide the clear communication in your own domain, the success rate is 3.5 times higher, my friends. Clear communications makes you your leadership skill in a different level. And another common challenge is that 39% employees, their resistance to change of any statistical data is happening. I just want to share one beautiful case study. It's a real life story of one of the giant IT company, Microsoft. When Satya Nadella took over as a CEO in February 2014, the company was seen a giant struggling to keep up with more innovative competitors like Apple and Google. Nadella's leadership marked a significant shift in the Microsoft strategy, culture, and overall business approaches. So what he utilized that? Vision the strategy, embracing a growth mindset. Nadella mostly emphasizes on the growth mindset across the company, encourage employees to adopt new culture, new environment, share the innovative idea and cultural shift for the better environment, while failure was seen as a learning opportunity. Normally, we all treated failure as a blame game, but he always said about the learning opportunity. Second, cloud first and mobile first strategy. And this was most successful. They increased the sales by 3 times higher. They implemented of new technology. And one thing is important, he more emphasis on the communications. Because when he took up charge as a CEO, he faced a lot of challenges from the employees as well as for the higher management, because he suddenly changed the entire culture of the Microsoft. So what he did for communication, transparent and inclusive communication. Nadella prioritized clear, open communications. He frequently communicated with employees through town halls, emails, internal social media platforms, and also shared visions and strategy were well understood by all levels of the employees of the organization. And also, he focused on the empathy and emotional intelligence. Yeah, Nadella's communication style was marked as a empathy and humility. He acknowledged the company's top priority and also tried to find out the past mistake, and he not blame anyone for that. It's all about the learning opportunities, he already says. And another thing is very crucial for managing change, that is a focused diversity and leadership change. Nadella made diversity and inclusion on priority. Recognize that diverse workplace would drive better decision making and innovation to the organization. And also, leadership and role modeling, leading by example. Then monitoring and adaptations on day-to-day basis. I think that is an improvement. And he tried to most focus on continuous improvement and try to connect with all level of the management, including the cross-functional team, for become successful time. And he more emphasis on the employees, cultural outfit. So as a result, from this learning experience, Satya Nadella, within 1 year, what happened? I just want to share it all with you. Satya Nadella approach to managing change at Microsoft provide a powerful example of how visionary leadership, clear communications, and employee empowerment, and more on customer-centric approach can transform a struggling organization into a market leader. His emphasis on culture, innovation, strategic focus has not only revitalized the culture of Microsoft, but also the new standard for leadership in the tech industry, which is a reflection of a great example of managing change. So with that note, I just want to welcome our amazing leader from Leadership Speak, and he's an inspiration for many of us. He recently completed graduation in law from London School of Business. It's a great achievement. So today, our leadership speaker, Tony Bratschitsch. So before I call on the stage Tony, I just call upon the evaluator of Toastmaster, Tony. So Mohammed, so our Leadership Speak evaluator, Mohammed Asif, we all know this is the current president of Leadership Speak. And we know under his Leadership Speak now is one of the top 5 clubs globally. This is possible because he changed, he always managing change within the club cultures with diversity and always empower everyone to becoming the better persons. So with that note, I just want to hand over the podium to our Leadership Speak evaluator. Please read out the speech objective of our leadership speaker, Tony.
Thank you, Toastmaster, TMOD, Toastmaster Mrinal. Today, Toastmaster Tony is going to be presenting a leadership speak education speech on change management, opportunities for growth and renewal. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice developing a change management plan. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of change management. And the member will give some specific information about this plan as well. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. So our leadership speaker, Tony, title of his speech, Change Management, Opportunities for Growth and Renewal. Change Management, Opportunities for Growth and Renewal. Over to you, Toastmaster Tony.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Mrinal. And hello, everyone. Mrinal and I had a Zoom call about this topic a few days ago, and we got pretty pumped, pretty excited about it. Now, there's some change that cannot be managed, and there's some change that can be managed. For example, I used to have a full set of hair, but changed. You know, what happened to it? Where did my hair go? I can't manage that. But there are some things I can manage, like my goals and my aspirations. I will share my PowerPoint right now. And I'm assuming you all can see this. Now, the purpose of my presentation is to discuss managing change at work and elsewhere. And there's three key words that I'll be referring to: leadership, culture, and strategy. But ultimately, there is one word at the very end of my presentation, which I think will be obvious, will be the root of my suggestion on the key to managing change. The outline of my presentation is based on a 10-minute presentation by myself. And then I'm going to be sharing my ideas, a personal story. And then the second portion will be 10 minutes where it'll be questions and answers. And maybe you'll have an opportunity to share some ideas on this topic. First, the definitions. Dynamic leadership. And that's one of the pathways that we have with Toastmasters. And this is my particular pathway right now. And the definition of that is leaders just don't know one style of leadership. They are skilled at several, and they have the flexibility to switch between one and the other and more as they see fit. And this definition comes from Daniel Goleman. Now, I'm citing this source because Daniel Goleman coined the expression emotional intelligence in 1995. And we had a theme on emotional intelligence that I thought was extremely well done. And this man, Daniel Goleman, also has insights onto how leadership is developed from emotional intelligence. Now, we have a wonderful word of the day, agile. And I think that's the best way to describe dynamic leadership, being agile, being able to move, shift, to change as we see fit. According to Daniel Goleman, there's 6 types of leadership styles. And I've listed them in order of effectiveness to culture. So authoritative, come with me. Affiliative, people come first. Democratic, what do you think? Coaching, try this. And then the other 2, which I've put in red because they're a bit different: pace setting and coercive. Sometimes organizations need to get things done fairly quickly or especially at a higher level. So therefore, there is more emphasis on the leader leading the way. So there's 6 right there to look at. And I'll get back to them later. These come from Daniel Goleman. Now, it's important to note that there's no single leadership style that we should rely on. So if someone comes to you and asks, what kind of leader are you? I submit to you a good answer would be, I'm an agile leader, or a dynamic leader, or someone who tries to shift between leadership styles as my organization needs it. Because each of these leadership styles have short-term uses. Daniel Goleman says that as good leaders, dynamic leaders, agile leaders, we should be proficient with at least 4 of those 6 leadership styles. Definition of culture. And really, it's hard to come up with a definitive definition of culture. But according to another professor, he's from Harvard, Boris Groysberg, he says that culture expresses goals through values, their behaviors, and beliefs. It is the social order of any organization. And it actually is expressed from the top leaders through the actions and behaviors of the frontline workers. So culture is very important. And there's a couple of dimensions to culture that we may have time to talk about a little later. Now, Boris Groysberg, the professor, he is used as a source by many organizations, such as Microsoft, like Mrinal talked about, and also Google, and many other organizations. So he's a very credible source. Strategy. Now, according to Professor Groysberg, strategy offers a formal logic for the company's goals. Again, the word goals, and gets people moving along towards what the strategy is. And it's defined from the very top. And hopefully it can work its way down, but through culture. In real life, strategy is actually straightforward. And that's a quote from another source, Jack Welch, who, 20 years ago, he led GE Capital, one of the world's most effective organizations, to tremendous successes. And one thing about his legacy is that Mr. Welch and his organization developed hundreds of corporate leaders that went elsewhere to lead global organizations across the world. It was considered an academy organization, an academy that produced leaders, which of course is another definition of success. Now, Jack Welch said, you pick a general direction and go. Now, he actually used a different word, which I can't really repeat because he was that kind of a guy. Boss, you pick a general direction and go. Now, our Sergeant of Arms, Perm G, mentioned the word procrastination. How often do we sit back thinking, I'll get to it later? No, Jack Welch says, point yourself in that direction and go. Think less, do more. So we can start off with strategy. And talking about strategy and culture, one word came up. There was a commonality: goals. Goals tie everything. And we need goals. Goals engage people. Now, there's a model called SMART goals. S for specific and clear, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant and recorded, and T for time bound. Our Toastmasters high performance leadership program and projects are based on the same model: measurable, results oriented, time. So goals tie everything in. It's critical, and it's important for engagement. Personal story. Now, we know one big change was the pandemic. Everything changed with the pandemic. Changes were happening so fast, we had to be very agile just to keep up with it. And my organization actually saw opportunity. At work, we had 3 companies for 30 years. We were static. The pandemic came, and opportunities were being thrown at us. There were companies where the owners wanted to retire and leave, and we had opportunities to acquire those companies. And we also had an opportunity to start a new enterprise. So we grew from 3 companies to 8 during that time period. And please think about that. We got 8 balls in the air now. The owner of the company, the group of companies, Patrick, came to me and asked me for a plan. Now, how do we turn this juggling, this chaos, into something with a strategy that's going to have a plan for success? Well, engagement was a good start for us. So back then, I conducted a number of focus meetings. That's the photograph on the left. I had meetings with workers and managers to talk about what we want to do, what they think we should do, and how we should do it. And then later, it was very nice to see that the employees, the workers, the managers themselves got engaged in engagement meetings. The photograph on the right At the forefront shows the back of our youngest employee giving a presentation to a group of peers and managers and how we should actually handle customer service. So the focus meetings led to engagement where we try to get the workers involved, you know, and ideas. Another thing we did was very important. So we took these group of 8 companies and we flattened the organization chart. We eliminated layers of management because too many layers means meddling. So we flattened our organization chart. But at the same time, we had to think of what was important to the workers. So in this slide, I squeezed Maslow's hierarchy of human needs because it was always conscious to me and to the others that we got to make sure our people are properly paid. Because at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, you know, there's the need to feed ourselves, to take care of our families. That's the first thing we have to take care of. Then the next thing is security. Then the next thing are opportunities and room for advancement, to be appreciated. And then we could build the culture on that. But you know, plans don't always go the way you want. And there's always, as Mrinal said, there's going to be challenges to growth and there's resistances. And a lot of our people were not properly trained or educated, or they're afraid. A lot of our people were afraid to fail. So they didn't grow. And along the way, we had many, many difficulties. Managers were, for example, they did not want to learn. Some of the managers came with the companies we acquired, and they had a completely different culture. So the pictogram on the right on the screen shows the different trajectories. Our strategy being converted through goals with timelines and purposes and engagement, all of a sudden required different leadership styles. I had to go back to coaching. We had to think about pace setting. Sometimes we had to be coercive. We had to say, okay, enough is enough. There's a lot of opportunities given here. We got to do it this way. But of course, we try to be authoritative and we try to lead with authority. And we had some managers that just jumped right into this, and they were very grateful for the opportunities. Back to the word of the day, agile, agility. But we still had to move forward, and we did so by being able to shift through our different leadership styles according to the needs, the people and the circumstances and the culture. Again, I just repeated this slide to go over the leadership styles that we had to shift through. Managing change. So leadership directs culture, and culture eats strategy for breakfast. This is important. And that's an expression that's attributed to Peter Drucker, although he claims he didn't say it. No, he did not originate it. And what that really means is culture directs strategy. This is a quote that's it's also a chapter in a significant book that was written by the vice president of people operations at Google. And it's a chapter. It's chapter 2 of this book, Work Rules. And they talk about how culture is so important. You can have any strategy in the world, but you have to direct the culture to make the strategy work. So therefore, culture eats strategy for breakfast. As I've shown before, the agility of leadership can help direct the culture. Now, our opportunities. Look what we have at Toastmasters. Look at our paths in our pathway program. There's 11 of them there. If you look at those, you see some of the key words I've already talked about. Dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor. That's always important to help keep things going. Innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationships, team collaboration, visionary communications. And if you look at those pathways, there's 2 things in common. There's item number 1, public speaking, which means communication. And again, Mrinal talked about that, communication. And then number 5 is also the commonality, confidence, executive presence. As leaders, we must get the message across with authority. We have these opportunities to learn, to gain knowledge, to spread knowledge. And speaking about spreading knowledge, now Mrinal talked, Mrinal is in marketing. He's got he's an effective marketing leader. And this is another quote. This comes from Seth Godin. The spreading of ideas is the single most important output of our civilization. Now, whether you believe that or not, or maybe it's not the most important, but it's still significant, it's a meaningful quote. The spreading of ideas, which is what we're doing now, and what we've done throughout our 2-year history at Leadership Speak. Now, something came up recently. I saw a presentation on WhatsApp by Brahm. Brahm talked about Leadership Speak, the power of community at Leadership Speak. Power of community. There is again, another credible source. The Cultivation of Community of Practice was published in 2002 through the Harvard Business School. How communities can gather knowledge and develop power. And isn't that what we're doing at Leadership Speak? We're managing knowledge. That's the word I wanted to submit to you. That ties everything in, how we manage change. So I submit, managing change is managing knowledge. That's for your consideration. So Leadership Speak, we walk the talk. And I have one last idea before we go to Q&A. We've done tremendous sessions in our 2-year history. Many of our educational speeches and other speeches bring value. So we have an academy of knowledge at our fingertips. We go online to YouTube. We can go back. We can go back to the session about emotional intelligence. We can go back to many other sessions. At Leadership Speak, we manage knowledge. We manage change. That concludes the first part of my presentation. I will now ask for questions, and maybe I'm going to ask for some answers. And so please feel free to submit your questions, and let's go. First question. Anybody?
Sure. I've always got questions. That was a marvelous presentation. I can hear the lawyer coming out in you.
I know nothing.
How important is the application of leadership even within the presentation that you would give at a court? Do you switch all those styles as you go through your storytelling?
Sandra, I could give a presentation on that.
I know you could.
You go to court, and it's literally kill or be killed. In the common law system, our system is adversarial. You go to court, you got one lawyer going against the other lawyer, and one's going to win and the other's going to lose. So we have to think on our feet, and we have to be able to change. We have to be persuasive. We have to convince the trier of fact and the trier of law that we are right, that we are persuasive, and the other side's dedicated to also winning. So yeah, we got to shift. That always got to. And this, I have to tell you, Sandra, and everyone else, Toastmasters brings out such a tremendous skill to people who actually have to be in that situation, because table topics training, being able to shift topics, to think on your feet is critical. Oh yes, Sandra. Great. Thank you for that. Oh, I love that. Love that.
I would challenge you that in the future, maybe you get one other strong debater with you and bring us a court case. I would love that, to see that as a presentation.
Yeah, my former home club, I'm only a member of one club, this club, but my former home club of 15 years, we used to conduct debates with other clubs, very robust debates. They were very useful. Yeah. So, maybe something for consideration, maybe a debate.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Sandra.
We have Toastmaster Brahm for question.
Thank you. If I may. Leadership Speak is an advanced club, as we all know, and we get members from all over the world, from different countries, different clubs, who are used to a different set of culture. And they come to Leadership Speak, which has a very unique culture, which is based on excellence, which is, of course, a key value in Toastmasters International in any case. But we pay attention to minute details that makes excellence what it is, and that excellence creates experience, and that experience creates the engagement, which you can see from the number of members we have, the number of countries involved in our club. So it's managing that change. How do we manage change, which is anytime a new member comes in, there's definitely a huge learning curve. How do we do that? How do we manage that change, or their psychology that yeah, I'm in a different environment. I better learn something new here first.
Well, in one of the 6 leadership styles that I presented from Daniel Goleman, the 5th one was the pace setting leadership style. We set the pace. And we do, don't we? For example, we recommend to people, well, we tell people, you have to use easy speak. That's one form of communication.
Yes.
Another form of communication that we make mandatory is WhatsApp. We have to communicate through WhatsApp. Now, when I joined Leadership Speak, I had never used WhatsApp before. And I said, I'm not agile enough to use WhatsApp. And you're smiling, you know what happened. Someone contacted me and gave me a tutorial and a lecture, not you, someone else, on the importance of WhatsApp, how we got to use it. And I'm so glad that happened because I love WhatsApp. So there we set the pace. So it was not coercive. No, it was pace setting. Now, coercive happens during emergencies. Now, we don't have those emergencies. All right. Now, sometimes something bad happens, and the leader must stand up and say, well, okay, this is what we're going to do because I said so. That's not the case with us. So one of the leadership styles we have is pace setting. And then once we set the standard, then we shift from, you know this, to authoritative. Come with me. Come with me. And look at all the members we have that have been leading with accomplishments. And by doing so, by walking the talk, they're telling us, come with me, do what I do. And then the team building that we have, the affiliative style, people comes first. Our club cares about its people. So you can see how I'm working down the list. There's different times. It's a wonderful thing. Now, subconsciously, I don't think, hey, today I'm going to be a pace setter, and maybe an hour from now I'm going to be, authoritative. No, because as Milton provided a wonderful word, I like to practice being agile. Practice being agile. Open-minded, growth set. Open mind, growth set. Now, culture has 2 dimensions, according to Professor Ghosh. One is people interactions, and the other, as Mrinal talked about, is response to change. And where we want to be on the, on the chart, you can sit back and say, okay, maybe we should, So it's fascinating, right? But we cannot overthink. As Jack Welch said, aim yourself in the right direction and go. And then be agile.
And Tony, I would say that we are doing very well in that direction when members come in from other clubs, and they do manage change, steep as it is. Some do resist a little while, but they understand. And look, here's the result. This trophy, right, is a result of that people are going along with our change, our strategy, and what we are doing. So thank you. Yes, you are right.
Okay, I'm going to say one last thing before,
Yes.
goals, right? We have goals.
Mhm.
We have a club goal and we have personal goals. And our club has goals for our members. So we are goal oriented. And that ties everything in.
Yes.
And we share knowledge. Knowledge is power. Education is probably, one of the greatest resources to solving the world's problems. Knowledge is power. And we're doing that with our academy.
Just a last comment here, Tony, and Anya has her hand up, is that I think this is a gold here, and we should make a bigger presentation, Tony, because you said leadership, culture, and strategy, and it's like this, like I've got goosebumps all over. Over to you, Anya.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Tony. Tony, just a quick analysis. You do different things. So you work with volunteers, you're with your family, you're in Toastmasters, you have a coaching business, you're a lawyer. Do you change knowingly, do you change your leadership styles when you go into different meetings or different environments?
Thank you, Anya. I go in with an open mindset. I go in with humility. Now I'm going to refer to Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence. He has 5 major competencies, right? I'm sharing this, right? Okay, I don't want to come across geeky, but for example, one of self-awareness is a major emotional intelligence. Empathy. Again, Mrinal talked about empathy. I care about the next person, so I'm going to try to listen. So it's the mindset, and then with continuous improvement, continuously practicing. Anya, by here at Leadership Speak, and at your clubs, we do this often enough. We become experts of practice. In my presentation, I talked about communities of practice. But as members of the community, we become experts of practice. So I'm just trying to improve. Continuous, not continual, continuous improvement. So my answer to you is, I work at it.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank
Great
you.
presentation. I always learn from
thank you as always, Anya. You're great. Thanks.
I think John raised a hand.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Tony, for that this very insightful presentation. My question is, how do you balance change with stability? Because we want some degree of stability, and that some of us, the personality of many of us, is that they don't like that change that very much. What will you say? How should we balance stability and change?
Well, there's a lot of us that, like having stability more than flexibility. So it's a personal comfort issue. So we have to stay within ourselves. Relying upon stability rather than flexibility is not a bad thing. It's part of our culture. There's other things we can do in culture, with knowledge, with teachings, with education. We can balance our desire for stability with other aspects of culture. John, it comes down to understanding culture, people interactions, and how we respond to change, and finding a balance to achieve our goals to obtain results. That's an abstract answer, but it's the best,
Thank you.
The red light's on, and you know what that means to a Toastmaster. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your support and for your questions, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Tony. I urge you, everyone, please unmute yourself and clap for Tony. What an amazing speaker, I must say. It's a great example of an agile leader. As a leader, first, you should own managing change before you say someone else. I learned so much of things regarding managing change through presentations of Tony, and it's a great Q&A session, I must say that. Next, we move to our first speaker of the day. Yes, it's a last moment change. Nicole, our first speaker of the day. She is currently Vice President of Education at a community club. She is from Jamaica, and she is a compliance officer. So now I call upon the first evaluator. Usually, she is from Ontario, Canada, and she done master's degree in project management. Now I want to hand over the podium to Yusli. Please read the speech objective of the speaker. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Miller to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of her team. And the purpose of this first speech is for her to give a short overview of the plan for her project. She will have 2 to 3 minutes to present this speech. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much. I want more. Yes, I want more. Over to you, Nicole.
I want more. I want more. I want more. Job satisfaction. I can feel it across the organization. Staff crying out, I want more satisfaction from the job. Well, I'm not in a position to offer more job satisfaction, but I'm in a position to offer them Toastmasters. I Want More is a project I'm taking on for the period July 2024 to June 2025 in my community club. Toastmasters is just one of several other clubs offered by the Human Capital Department in my organization. Persons have options such as football, netball, the chorale. But I want to market Toastmasters in a special way in my closed community club that persons will see Toastmasters as the premier club in the organization to pursue after work activities. Competition. Competition is one of the main characteristics of all clubs. However, I want to market Toastmasters as the only club that staff does not have to have the skills before, but once you come into Toastmasters, then we help you develop all the skills you want. As such, competition will not marginalize anyone because of skills that they need to have prior to becoming a member. I want to market Toastmasters as a place that staff can meet new friends, and on top of that, to develop and grow themselves. This project is to get at least 8 persons, or should I say 8 or more new members to become a part of my community club. The advent of COVID had provided an opportunity for us, which we did not take full advantage of. But because we had, as a club, to spend time managing change, but now that we have managed to change to an online environment, I want to go to each of the parishes in which my organization is located across the island in Jamaica to market this in person, face to face, that online option that Toastmasters has to offer to all members of staff across the entire island. Now, I started the development and building of my team, but I need just 2 more persons. And I put it to members of Leadership Speak today that 2 persons from this club can help me to give staff more at my local organization. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for an amazing speech. I want more. Next, coming to our second speaker. Second speaker is John. Please spotlight him. Yeah, thank you so much. John is a physician, scientist, and lifelong learner who loves to read, travel, listen to music. He's been Toastmaster for the last 8 years. Now, I call up on the stage the evaluator of our second speaker, Elena. We all know she's a winner of Global Impact Summit in this year. So we know that we all are here something new to implement that. And here is a great example of invisible. Now you are visible, Elena. Over to you, Elena. Please read the speech objective for John.
Thank you for your understanding as I navigate 47 degrees Celsius in Cyprus at the current moment. John, honored to be your evaluator. John's speech is from A Path of Motivational Strategies, Level 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster John to learn about different communication styles, identify his primary style, and share the impact of this style with others. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elena. John, solving communication disconnections. Solving communication disconnection. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and visitors. How do you communicate with others who do not have or practice the same communication skills with you? Do people always understand your communication? For me, it has been a roller coaster. All the time, I have communication problems. And so, a couple of weeks ago, I decided to take the Toastmasters Pathways Level 2 Communication Assessment after another communication fiasco at work. It's always been a challenge because I did not understand my communication style. And so today, I want to share with you the results of this assessment, what I learned about my communication skills, and how it impacts others who do not share or who do not use my communication styles. And finally, what I did, the action I took to ensure that never again will I have communication disconnections. And this is the results of my communication styles. as you can see, I possess, naturally use 2 communication styles, the supportive and the analytical, where I scored a little bit or average score. And yet, I do not use a lot or do not use direct and initiating styles. And I see that this is what brought conflict. This what results in my conflict with those who use or those who are direct and initiating communication styles. I have always suffered with my friends because my friend, I discover, is an initiating and is always talking, and always fun-loving. And I focus on being logical, precise, and data-driven. So I like to explain myself. No, not my friend. My friend doesn't want that at all. Or many of my colleagues, particularly my boss, who is a direct communicator. And so I share with you here the results of my core strength profile. Again, it shows that I am an equalizer and communicator. And you can see how my strength matches or aligns very well with my communication style, which is supportive, analytical. Again, as you see, equalizer is level-headed. And you can see my supportive says I'm calm. You can see the analytical that always logical and precise. And I'm a catalyst as a connector. And so this taught me that I need to adjust my communication style. I need to be agile in order to ensure that there's a balance. And in fact, Toastmasters tells us that no one size fits all. We should try to adapt and to use all these communication styles depending on the people that we are directing with. And so this takes me to next to the impact of my communication styles. For the people who are also who have supportive and analytical communicators, my relationship has always been positive. We get along very well. However, those that are direct and initiative communicators is always been an awful relationship. Now, let me tell you one story. A couple of weeks ago, as I was telling you, I want to tell you the communication fiasco that occurred in the office. See, I was informed to come and present to my new director and her leadership team. A few minutes into my presentation, my new boss interrupted and said, "John, cut the chase. Skip the details. I want the BLUF. Give me the beef." I said, "What? What is BLF? BLUF. He said, bottom line up front, dummy." Well, this did not go well. And also, I have other issues. And when I did not, as I continued, I summoned my courage, and as I continued, she just walked out of the room, abruptly ending the talk. Of course, how devastated I was, and I was unhappy. And so from these experiences, I learned that I need to pivot. I learned that one style does not suit everybody, and I need to know my audience better and to improve my communication, intelligence, and to better communicate with my people with direct and initiating communicators. And so the action I took was to adopt adaptive communication style, a style in which I could easily adjust my communication and to the needs of my audience. In summary, practicing adaptive communication has solved my communication problem. I'm now able to communicate more effectively with my boss, my colleagues, friends, and family members who are direct and initiative communicators without any misunderstanding, conflicts, and this has improved my professional relationship with them. In summary, I would like, my recommendation, please consider using adaptive communication style when speaking to people outside your communication style. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. An agile leader job. We know about your more better. As a communication style, you are supportive and analytical. And you also share your core strength report. You are an equalizer and a connector. Thank you so much for knowing better through your speech. Now, move on to our next speaker. Who is our next speaker? Oh my goodness. Our next speaker, Sandra Valks. Life has its way with us, don't you think? Nature versus nurture. Yes, the battle lives on. Today, our compassionate queen of straight talk, and I must say laughing girl as well, fondly remembers all the nurturing she received being mentored. From a time in her life where the experience seems small, but memories are big. And the last one she's sharing is the one that sticks so clearly in her mind. Listen up and you will find out why all of us need to always pay attention in our life. Help me welcome Sandra with come to next later. So before, I just want to call upon our evaluator. Yeah, she's an emotional intelligence and NLP coach and practicing. She has been member of 3 Toastmaster Club. Currently, she also serving as a president of one of the club. And she also had 13 years of corporate experience. With that note, I just want to hand over the podium to Toastmaster Sabnam. Please read the speech objective for Sandra.
President, fellow Toastmasters, and specifically Toastmaster Sandra, good evening from this side of the world. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and the purpose is also for the member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. All the best. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Now, help me to welcome Sandra. Always smiling girl, I must say. I love that. Keep continuing. Friends, attention, pay attention. Attention, pay attention. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Mrinal. I am to make sure that I share my experience, as was stated, of being a protege, and how does that tie in with our Toastmasters? What's that all about? Well, I have some stories for you. A mentor, I'm going to read this. A mentor is someone who allows you, I like that word allows. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside of yourself. That was Oprah Winfrey. Now, I really like Wayne Dyer as well, because this is where I get my authority to have fun, be funny, and still get results. We can do it. We can have fun, be funny, and still have professional results. Wayne Dyer says, to be more childlike, you don't have to give up being an adult. The fully integrated person is capable of both being an adult and a child. Ha ha! Simultaneously, I might add. It was interesting, last week I spoke in India and they introduced me as being fun and professional. It can be done. Recapture the childlike feelings of wide-eyed excitement, spontaneous appreciation, cutting loose, and being fully aware of the awe and wonder of this magnificent universe. Wayne Dyer. I have truly learned all of my leadership agility. All of it. I've learned it mostly through osmosis. And yes, coming to Leadership Speak, I've been able to recognize all those skills and be thankful for where I learned them as a child. Now, all 6 styles got worked into me. As a little child on the farm, I was too small, too little, too young, too much, too boisterous, too quiet, too sensitive. What do you do with that when you're a little child? Well, when I got to school, they fixed that. They made sure that they molded me with their discipline and their structure so that I could become just right. I could be just enough. I could be just quiet enough. I could be just robust enough. I could be just, I could be just, I could be just, I could be just. That's what our school education does to us. Now, I was lucky because that's important to be just enough sometimes. Sometimes you need to be the follower and you need to be just enough. You need to be just enough support. You need to be just enough so that others shine. That's the magic of the mentor. I was blessed because in that little one-room country school, I had the same teacher, Margaret Chase, from grade 1 all the way through grade 5. One room, she managed curriculum for 8 grades. What did I learn? Just by osmosis. I learned to stand at attention for O Canada. I learned to stand by my desk for the speaking out. I learned how to stand by my desk for God Save the Queen, for O Canada, sometimes the Maple Leaf Forever. It was just all blended in. The music and how we presented it was right there beside our desk. Amazing. We had the Pledge of Allegiance. We had the Lord's Prayer. And in the morning, we also had to stand by our desks and sing all together with energy. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. That is the way to start a new day. You know what that did? Having that happy little song influenced us to also keep our energy up, to be attentive, and to really enjoy that the day was ahead of us, because she made school exciting. Now, please don't get me wrong, it wasn't all discipline, because lots of times it was also about how to bring joy to the stage. She taught it all to us by osmosis. This amazing mentor taught me everything about courtesy, creativity, enthusiasm, leadership. Now later, as a practice teacher, I was at a classroom practicing my teaching for a week. And one of the students, this is my biggest memory, one of my students in that practice session lived across the road. And for that week, I had room and board at her grandma and grandpa next door. She brought over her Shetland pony. Now, if you're not familiar with a Shetland pony, it's built pretty low to the ground, short legs, a little guy. And on we went and had some little rides around in the yard. And my husband-to-be came to visit. So he got on there. He knows nothing about horses. he got on, and that student mentored him and said, wrap your legs around the belly. Well, he didn't listen too well. He didn't know how to hang on. So his legs went back. And when his feet went under the horse's hind legs, it backed. And then his feet went the wrong direction, and the horse went down the other way, and off he went, hanging around the horse's neck with his bum on the ground. I would suggest that maybe sometimes we should listen to our mentors, because if you pay attention, like the Buddhist monks, attention, attention, bring your thought back. Attention, attention, pay attention to what's going on. You'll learn by osmosis. Attention, attention, listen to that student who says, wrap your legs around his belly. Don't put them under his front legs. Don't put them under his back legs, because you're going to land up holding on to that horse's neck with your bum on the ground. Osmosis. Have you enjoyed the agility that comes by paying attention? Pay attention here at Leadership Speak as well, because you're going to have all of the styles melded together. Attention. Pay attention. Mrinal?
Thank you so much. Today, you are an amazing singer. And also, we need to all pay attention on time also. I think that is a crucial part. So without further ado, now I just want to, our fourth speaker for the day, Lydiah. I hope I pronounced it right. She loves discovering new things, and that's give her courage to just do it. With that note, I just want to introduce her evaluator, Toastmaster Bindu. She's from India. She's an amazing Agile leader, and also she's a doctor from Chennai, India. Over to you, Bindu.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mrinal. A very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all. My speaker, Toastmaster Lydiah, is going to speak on the pathway dynamic leadership, and the project is present a speech on a topic. So this is getting evaluated and incorporating the feedback. This is a first speech. All the best to Toastmaster Lydiah, and over to you, Toastmaster Mrinal.
Thank you so much. Lydiah, just a minute. Just a minute, Lydiah.
Just a minute. Lydiah, you can do it. Those were words I used to hear when I was growing up. And I still remember them from my late mother. She was an agile mother. Her agility was on another level. Being the firstborn girl, she taught me that you can do it. And she started when I was 7 years old by giving me little tasks here and there for me to do. One of the fine days, we used to live outside the town, and my father used to live in town. And she told me, by then I was 13 years old, she told me, you know what? I'll be traveling. And it is not a must when someone travels to come back. Anything can happen. So while I'm away, take charge. You're the one who is responsible for your siblings. She took me to where she had put some money, and she put her ATM card and told me that you can do it, Lydiah. Yes, ma'am. I'll give it all my best. And I used to feel very good because I could come up with a plan. What are we going to eat for supper, lunch? Come up with a menu, and I felt I was in charge. And even distributing responsibilities. We were 7, so I could distribute responsibilities to the siblings, and I felt good. I was able to manage our little family when my mother was away. One of the fine days, she came, and what we had planned to do, we had planned to eat chicken. We prepared rice, we prepared vegetables, we boiled water, but we didn't know that I myself could not cut the head of the chicken, neither my brother nor anyone else. So she came late and she found us eating vegetables and rice. And the chicken was there. So she was asking us, what is happening with the chicken? Then I gave her the story. Wanted to treat ourselves. After doing all this good work, we wanted to have a good meal. She laughed. Then she told me, Lydia, as I keep on telling you, you can do it. Tomorrow, I'll get hold of 2 chicken. One, I will demonstrate, and the second one, you will do it. Yes, ma'am, I will do it. Come the following day, she did. Cut the head, then the neck, then prepare the chicken. I observed, then finally I had to do the second one. And true to her word, I did it. And that one made me feel, voila, I can make it. It is never all that good that you think you can all do it. Another day she came. The place was in a mess. We were all playing. 13-year-old girl, what do you expect? We were playing. She came, the place was not looking nice. She came in and then told me, Lydia, come here. This is not what I told you. This is not what I've taught you. She told me, I'll just close my eyes. By the time I open my eyes, let me see something else. And she meant that. She went to the bedroom. I called my brothers and sisters. We cleaned the place. It looked very nice. We even made coffee for her. She came out of the bedroom. The place was sparkling nice. Even the scent was really nice. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, could you kindly put on the chat if you know who started these 3 words, just do it slogan? I'm observing. DTM Brown. When I grew up, I realized after reading that just do it. It's a very good slogan that is being used by Nike. So I had to Google, where did it come from? It came from a person called Gary Mack, who was a murderer, and he was jailed. When he was jailed, at the time before he was killed, he said, just do it. Then years later, another man came by the name Dan Walden. They just thought about those 3 words and started implementing the word. There were 3 words in the company, my company. And they started making profits because of just doing it. They did it. And that is how you see. You'll see jackets with a tick, shoes with a tick, and they are doing it. Where am I driving at? In conclusion, I have learned you have to trust yourself. When you trust yourself, you can do it. You become agile and you're able to do it. No one else will do for you apart from yourself. Then in Toastmasters, as mentors, when you have new members who have joined, whatever you tell to those members, it goes a long way. I remember what my mother used to tell me, just do it. What are we telling to our new members? The words we are telling them goes a long way, and that is what can build them or can break them. What are we going to purpose to do this year, 2024, 2025? Let us be there and look at what you want to do and just do it. supporting other members, let us support them and just do it. I'll leave you with a quote from Jim Presley, who said, "No one can do it for you. It is just you have to do it. Just do it." Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you. Just do it. Please unmute yourself and clap for me. Heartiest congratulations to all the speakers for doing an amazing job today.
A standing ovation, yes.
Thank you, thank you. So timer, Jessica, please share your report in the chat. And I urge you, it's time for vote for the best ever speakers. Our Zoom master, please vote for best effort speaker. Thank you. Now it's time to introduce our general evaluator of the day. She is an author, communication catalyst and coach, mentor, motivator, author, Navigating Corporate Sales, a book for professionals at every level. Without further ado, I just want to hand over the podium to our GE Toastmaster, Nina John. Nina John, podium to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Mrinal, Ghosh. A very warm welcome to all those who are here, who've been attending this wonderful meeting. And we go into the general evaluation. General evaluation is the lifeblood of Toastmasters. We're also always talking in terms of excellence. Tony referred to continuous improvement, and we're really talking about how every meeting at every Toastmasters is meant for continuous evaluation and better practices. And at Leadership Speak, we make it a point of raising the bar for excellence every time. So let me start with our individual evaluators, all of whom will be evaluating the different people. So let me start with our evaluator for our toast. That is
Nina, if you can do Elena, because she has to leave the meeting as soon as she's done her evaluation. So if you can ask Elena to do the evaluation first.
all right. So
She left us a
Elena,
note. Yeah, she wants to go to a funeral.
Memorial.
Memorial, my correction.
okay. All right, Elena, we will take in your request and ask you to do your evaluation of Toastmaster John Ojeifo's speech. Over to you, Elena.
Thank you. Can you please spotlight John so I can talk to his eyes? John, where are you?
We don't normally do that in this club.
We don't
Club culture.
So I shouldn't look into the camera.
Look in the camera instead.
Now, I would like everyone's attention, please. Now, John asked me to evaluate his content. He actually sent me a very, very dignified email. His transitions, his engaging of the audience, his emotions, and his Zoom presence. Now, masterful, truly masterful content transition. He had a problem to be solved. He had the science. He went to the story. He went to the personal. And then he withdrew back and went to, again, the recommendations. I love that. Humor. I mean, I was back on my chair laughing at some point. John, thank you so much, because in a very elegant way, you engage the audience. And that is the power of storytelling. So emotions were arisen. And I thought it was wonderful how you did your Zoom present, your hand gesture, what you did with your eyes at some point was just keeping me glued to the screen. And your body language, your positioning on the screen, the height of your camera, awesome. Now, please, why did I have so much taken away by the presentation slides? There was little John in the corner, and there was this big slide that had so many things on it, John, that really you had a wonderful example of what we need to be careful when we put slides and take away from our bodies and our soul, which is what Toastmasters is about. You know, using persuasive, because you had the logos, the ethos, and the pathos. Now, this is very easily solved because, you know, we can work on that. If you make your presentation slides, maybe in the background or small, just use them to support what you're saying. Don't make them the protagonist of this wonderful show that we missed of you because of the slides. So easy again to fix. I also am very good at reading lips because I don't, my English is not perfect. I could not hear 100% of your words, John. And that's because of your mic and you moving back and forth, which was also a little bit distracting for me. I like the fact that you moved to the screen because I could engage with you better. But the frequent rocking back and forth is something that I did in my first keynote and my husband picked up. So there you go, feedback running around. And other little things. So I got so much out of your speech because I actually could engage with you about this adaptability to others. I was always like, if they don't like me the way I am, then, you know, but the quote, bottom line up front, dummy, was epic. So thank you for relating. Thank you for giving us a takeaway that is ever so powerful. And you did that because you're amazing with your content, your transitions, your engagement, your emotions. It's just the Zoom, you know, if we were in a room, we would be like hugging you. But because of Zoom, I would take a training on that or something, you know, we can work together. Now, I'm sorry, I don't see the timer. I think I've overstepped my boundaries. Thank you so much. Let's have a workshop on Zoom presence. Thank you so much. Thank you, John. Back to you, to General Evaluator, Nina.
Thank you so much, Elena, for that detailed, incisive evaluation. I will move on now to our toast by Toastmaster Paramjit and ask Hannah to evaluate him. Toastmaster Hannah, yeah.
Madam General Evaluator and Paramjit. Paramjit, you just love to involve your family into your speeches. And of course, they give you so much reason to talk about. The purpose of delivering a toast is for the toast, as Toastmaster requires it, an acceptance speech, honor an individual or honor an organization. Although the theme was managing change, I would have loved to hear you incorporating the theme of the day into these categories. Your Zoom presence was excellent, and I recommend that. You were standing. You had a clear and audible voice. You looked at the camera, and we could see your facial expression very clearly. Your hand gestures complemented the importance of your message in managing change. That is also very important. One could see the whole body of you also from up here, your body. Paramjit, here is my challenge to you. When raising a toast next time with your second speech, and you request the audience to toast with you, wait for a short while for the audience to unmute themselves and open their videos. And then you have a sip first, and everybody will join you. You end it with the 3 words, managing change effectively. And we all will continue to grow. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for that wonderful evaluation. A toast to you for that. We move on now to our Toastmaster of the day, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Leya. Toastmaster Leya, oh, sorry. Toastmaster Leya, may I have you on screen, please?
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Yes, I am evaluating our Toastmaster of the day. So in terms of the before the meeting, a WhatsApp group was created. Members were in the group just to ensure that the final details of the meeting were hashed out in that particular group, which is always good because it helps you to know when there are issues or anything is happening. And then, of course, the meeting started and you took on the role, introduced the role players, and also talked about the theme of the meeting. It was very clear that you were very enthusiastic in your role today. And I like the aspect that you commented after each speaker spoke. It showed that you were using your listening skills for you to be able to do that. So that was really great. And you ensured that the meeting went through as per the agenda. So then just two items that I picked up that I thought you might want to look at, especially as a Toastmaster of the day. So the first one is the timing. I think this is something that has been said to you before when you were Toastmaster of the day. As the Toastmaster of the day, your job is to ensure, obviously, that the meeting progresses well. And that also includes the timing, because in Toastmasters, we always want to say we want to start on time and finish on time. And whenever you notice that there's something that maybe has taken up a bit of a time as the Toastmaster of the day, you should be agile to ensure that you squeeze the time to ensure that everything progresses as per the agenda. So I did notice that we are running a little bit late. And this is something, as the Toastmaster of the day, you should be able to be keeping an eye out for, and ensure that if there are any comments or any additional things that you're going to do, that maybe you then don't do those particular things, just to ensure that everything runs to that specific time. Like I said, Toastmasters always say timing is very, very important. Then the second thing is, we have a WhatsApp group for the meeting. It's good for the Toastmaster of the day just to be keeping an eye on what is being communicated there, because that group is there in terms of communication regarding the meeting. So there were comments even on the group that were shared there, which I think if you had noticed them then, it could have helped you in terms of just ensuring the progression of the meeting. So remember, the WhatsApp group is there, not just for before the meeting, but even during the meeting, just to help you to know what's happening, because we obviously can't speak about it during the meeting. That's why the WhatsApp group is there, to help us to communicate as the role players, just to ensure that everything progresses well. Other than that, I loved your enthusiasm. You were very, very excited, and I would like to encourage that kind of excitement from Toastmaster of the day, and good luck in all your future roles. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Leya. We move on now to Toastmaster Sandra, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sabnam. Toastmaster Sabnam has been an enthusiastic member of our club, and I would like to have her spotlighted, so I know that she is there. Where are you, Madam Toastmaster? Yes, Sabnam, welcome to your evaluation. Thank you. Go ahead.
A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and specifically Toastmaster Sandra, good evening once again. Toastmaster Sandra today delivered an inspirational speech. Throughout her speech, with the help of quotes and stories, she explained the importance as well as impact of mentorship in her life. Toastmaster Sandra, you showed us a complete curve today of your life, starting from being an overactive child before school to a school student who was guided and mentored by Miss Margaret to becoming a teacher herself. I was able to understand two messages from your speech. One, being that it is okay to be too much and also okay to be in limits. And second message was, we need to pay attention to our mentors. They are here to help us. I also appreciate how she tried to link her speech with Toastmasters. Now, there were certain things that really stood out for me in her speech. Was number one, I have been evaluating Toastmaster Sandra for I have evaluated her for a couple of times, and I've always mentioned, please use more quotes. And today she used 4 quotes in her speech, and I was dancing in my place today. Second is the way she explained her stories, narrated her stories rather, I would say, especially the instance when her fiance was sitting on a horse and the way he fell down. I was able to visualize it, and it was a very funny visualizations. And yes, again, the quotes were wonderful. Well, I do have some suggestions for her. The word osmosis, it kept on repeating again and again throughout her speech, specifically in the second half of her speech. I wish she would have explained what it actually means. It generally means being agile or being, able to convert yourself from one aspect to another aspect. If that word was explained properly, then it would have given it more meaning, because it's a very powerful word. Secondly, the connection with, there has to be something that is linking the starting body and the ending of your speech. I think it was somehow not connected that well, although it was throughout speaking of the same aspect, that is leadership and mentorship and all those things. But I wish it was more connected somehow. And my final suggestion would again be your Zoom presence. If you have something behind you, because today even I'm not sitting in a very open space, so use a background so that we see just you in the forefront. So yes, great quotes used throughout the speech. It shows that you're actually listening to what I'm evaluating. And very good concept. Yes, just take care of these 3-4 words. Connect your speech well. If you're using a power word, explain it properly. And that's about it from my side. Over to you, and all the best for your future speeches.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sabnam, for an insightful analysis as always. We move on now to speaker Lydiah, who will be evaluated by Toastmaster Bindu Thankappan. Toastmaster Bindu.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Nina. Congratulations to my speaker, Lydiah. You just did it. It was an amazing speech. I liked your speech because of 3 reasons. The first, opening. You told that you still remember your late mother's wordings. You can do it. That really took the whole audience into your swing. Then you gave a good content by narrating a story, your own personal story, in which you had learned a lot and proved yourself to be an agile leader. Then you told that you did not know how to make a chicken curry, but waited, did not do. And when the mother came and showed how to make, you observed it, and the next day you learned. So you yourself was in the making of an agile leader. Very well delivered final call to action message. You can do it. With another explanation, no one can do it for you. Wow, great. What can make this to a greater one? Yes, knowledge is power, and super knowledge is super powerful. I would challenge that what if you could incorporate this story and put it in your own professional life or Toastmaster life and tell that, yeah, in my younger days, my mother told me, you can do it. that kept echoing in each and every act I do. And this is another success story of mine. So you can fill the loop of your whole life with that knowledge, putting it into practice. Another one was, I was wondering why you did not put this as your title. You can do it instead of just a minute. Amazing title, which gives echoes to all of us and make us call to action. To summarize, very well done speech with a wonderful opening and a conclusion, amazing delivery and content. Just two things can really make a difference by incorporating your childhood story into your success story, which you already are, and the change of the title would really give you another weightage into it. Congratulations once more, Lydia. You just did it. And keep watching for more and more You Can Do It stories. Thank you. Over to you, Madam Shendril, Evaluator, Toastmaster Nina.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bindu, for that very enthusiastic evaluation. I'm sure she will really take that to heart. And now let us have the icing on the cake, our evaluation of the education session by Toastmaster Asif. Toastmaster Asif, evaluating Toastmaster Tony, DTM Tony. Yes, sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Nina. Toastmaster Tony, today you poured your wisdom, your experience, your professional qualifications, etc., 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 into this speech about how do you manage change and what are all the opportunities for leadership management. Right from the beginning, you attracted my attention because there's something common between you and me. And that's what you said. Something you can change, something you can't change. And that's your hair on the head. And that really grabbed my attention. Whenever we talk about change and vis-a-vis the leadership, the central idea which you brought forward in this whole speech was all about dynamic leadership, that best leaders don't know just one style, but you got to know about all the styles of leadership and grab whichever, pull that leadership style and use it according to the respective circumstances which demands as per the situation. And that's where the expertise comes in. And you brought in all that expertise in juxtapositioning the academic literature by Daniel Goleman vis-a-vis your own experience. Not only you did that, you also brought in relevant references to other speakers as well, like Mrinal and Paramjit, and you used the word of the day very effectively, that is Agile, which shows that you're not only a man of wisdom, but you also know your subject very well, and you are present in this meeting, and you can adapt according to that situation, which shows your comfort level on the subject matter. And not only that, you are comfortable with the audience as well in your communication. Now, as certain things were very glaringly evidence, or we could see that one thing was that it took I think 8 minutes more extra time in your delivering your speech, and I believe that is mainly because of using, I believe, many slides in your presentation. If that could have been made more concise, or even maybe you just do away with the slides because you are such a good speaker and such an engaging speaker. If maybe you just do away the slides, that's naturally, it's all flowing from within yourself, that total information and knowledge. I don't think the slides would have added more relevance to it, because I could see that and I could feel that during the question answer session as how spontaneously you are responding to the relevant questions and giving that answers vis-a-vis the subject matter of your speech today. Also, I believe that maybe during the question answer session, because that was the most exciting part for me, you could have somebody help you out with, who is the person who wants to raise a question, so that the time is saved in that. And I mean, obviously, like, many a times in question answer sessions, some of the speakers or, the questioners are more dominating, So in order to give more and more options, or, to many speakers could, or questioners could ask you question, it would be more important that, you focus on how do you give a concise feedback, and also take away the attention back from the questioners to make it more concise. I mean, the Q&A session, because that's where I saw that you had so much of knowledge you could have shared with, and you could have taken even more questions as well. Okay. Overall, Tony, what I feel that you are an amazing as a speaker. You have that wisdom and experience and professional expertise on this particular subject matter. I believe making the scope of the speech more concise to exactly what is the main pain point of everybody else vis-a-vis your expertise on that subject matter. And this is the solution, and just that's it. And that's where it packages into a very powerful speech, which I believe which will resonate with many of the audiences for a longer period. Back to you, General Evaluator. And best wishes, Tony, for your future speeches.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asif, for that masterful management evaluation of that speech. I would request timer. You have already put in the timing report.
Forget me.
Ma'am, you sleep. Evaluator first, you sleep.
I'm sorry?
You forget me?
Evaluator number 1.
Sorry. Toastmaster usually, yes. I am so sorry. How did I do that?
No worries. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Yes.
Toastmaster Miller Douglas, congratulations for this presentation. You have presented with enthusiasm and have shown passion about the project that you want to develop at your primary community club. And you have generated public interest as well for this project. You had a good Zoom presence, during which it was possible to see your hand gestures, and you had accurate eye contact. You had a clear voice and shown conviction in your saying. You have clearly identified the project, which is introduce Toastmaster at your work, and you have presented the time that you will need. It will be a project during a year, and you conclude by expressing the need for a team members. You have presented the objective for the project as well. My suggestion for you for the next time is to work on the conclusion. After presenting all the aspects of the project, you could do a summarize, and that will be benefit to have a better articulation of the call to action. Overall, you had a great and captivated presentation. I encourage you next time to work on the conclusion and your call to action. And congratulations to Toastmaster Miller Douglas, and good luck for this wonderful project. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Madam Timer, are you putting anything on the chat? Madam Timer, you'll put everything onto the chat box? All right, thank you so much. Then may I call on our grammarian, Toastmaster Melton, who's busy taking photographs, so we'll have to see what the thing is as well. Madam Toastmaster Melton.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Yes, I would like to commend to everyone. Thank you very much for using the word of today many times. I think Tony Bratschitsch used the most. He used as agile, agility, and Mrinal used twice. John used once. Sandra, Lydiah, Leya, Sabnam, Bindu, they all use agile word of today. Congratulations and thank you very much. I would like to also share the outstanding quotes and expressions from the speaker for a takeaway for us. Tony said, in leadership speak, we manage change. He also said, aim yourself to a good direction and go for it. Knowledge is power, and just do it. And John mentioned, one style cannot fit for all, for everybody. And Sandra said, pay attention, you will see all the style melted together in leadership speak. And Lydiah said, just do it, and no one can do it for you, it's only you, just do it. Bindu underlined, power is a knowledge, super knowledge is superpower. So congratulations and thanks a lot to all of you for perfect grammar usage. Well done. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much for that, Madam Grammarian and LS photographer par excellence, Toastmaster Milton. Now for my general evaluation, I think Madam Taima has already put all the timings on the board, but I think Toastmaster Tony's times have to be put in as well, ma'am, please. So as far as the general meeting is concerned, I think to greet Toastmaster Marcella did a great job calling everyone as soon as they entered, all the guests and everyone. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Marcella, for that wonderful job. And PR Master Nakavi has also done a good job. Sergeant at Arms Nicole read out the mission very nicely. Toastmaster Toast of the Day by Toastmaster Paramjit was there, but I think it could have been a little more effective if the words were enunciated clearly, for the toast part of it, so that we could get that more clearly. So that was fine. Toastmaster of the Day, Mrinal, had a wonderful theme, change. I think what you could have done is probably chopped up all your wonderful ideas into just before every second speech, or after every speech, one little nugget, that would have helped. So it would not have taken up so much time at the beginning. I think that would have been a great thing. And Toastmaster Tony, of course, exactly as his evaluator said, words of wisdom from in terms of both personal and professional. What I really liked is how he drew the connection between change and leadership, leadership in the management world, leadership in leadership speak and leadership development, and how Toastmasters basically provides knowledge and leadership through knowledge. So I thought that was really wonderful. The slides were a bit much, so perhaps next time we could have fewer slides and make life easier for you, Tony, rather than for the rest of us. But definitely, I love that theme, managing changes, managing knowledge, and the questions and answers could also have been done in that way. In terms of the speeches, everyone had good speeches as such. Toastmaster, I'll just go straight away to the evaluations because I think that is more important. The speeches have been kind of done as such. Toastmaster Elena had, there was a little too much about what Toastmaster John wanted. I think she could have gone straight into the evaluation itself rather than telling us what he wanted and then get into the meat of the sandwich, so to speak. We are also very happy with, I'm very happy with Toastmaster Hannah and Leah's evaluations because they covered all the salient points. In terms of both Toastmaster Sabnam and Bindu, I thought there was a little too much focus on the content. We already have heard the content. So unless you want the content kind of restructured in some way or whatever, as evaluators, let's not dwell on the content. Go into the other part of it, the structure, the delivery, the Zoom presence. How did that help? What is the message? How did that come across? And most importantly, how is it connected to your path? This is what we have repeatedly happening. We just have people delivering their own speeches, but what is the connection to the path and how does it take you forward on your individual path? So I think we need, as evaluators, I think we need to go a little bit more into that. A Toastmaster usually, for example, did a lot about the Zoom presence, and I think as online speakers, that's what we need to do. One more thing is we had a speaker dropping out, and I think since we have this program today, I think we kind of went over time and stuff like that. So I think when a speaker drops out, maybe we can just continue with the program without that speaker, because I don't think experienced members of Toastmasters are going to worry about, oh, I didn't get a chance to evaluate today. And no one's going to cry about that. We're always going to get onto the agenda for next time. So I think more time for whatever speeches are there. Let's finish exactly on time and let's get on with it. Overall, great meeting. I think wonderful speeches, superb evaluations, and exactly as Toastmaster Tony said, every meeting is a wealth of knowledge, a treasure trove that we can actually look back on and pick out nuggets that when we need for our particular speeches. Remember to steal those ideas from those speeches and the best phrases. Put them into your own speeches when you're in your meetings in the office or even in Toastmasters. With that, I hand you over back to our Toastmaster of the day, Mrinal Ghosh.
Wow. Thank you so much. Please, everyone, unmute and clap for our general evaluator. Such an amazing details evaluation. And each day, it's absolutely right. It's a learning day for all of us. With that note, I just now welcome Badon. He is a budding marketer and journalist from Uganda, a Toastmaster with Luboa Toastmaster Club in District 114 and also Leadership Speak District 86. He is BPPR of Luboa Toastmaster Club as well, with keen focus on how to become dynamic communicator. With that note, I just welcome on the podium Baron. Please share thoughts on the theme.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Mrinal. In line with today's theme, managing change is a thought that is meant to help us change our attitude towards embracing change. And this is really simple. Change is the heartbeat of growth. Few words, change is the heartbeat of growth. This suggests that without change, there is no development and there is no progress. Be it in leadership, be it in personal development, be it in evolution, change is the heartbeat of growth. Just like a heartbeat is essential to life. Toastmasters and guests, embrace change, for it is the heartbeat of growth. Back to you, Toastmaster Mrinal.
Wow, thank you so much. I think it's the most critical component. Change, managing change is a very important topic nowadays for any organization or maybe within your personal life also. It's play a very important role. I know initially it is very challenges to step up change, but once betterments of change is always good thing. It's happened when suddenly change your manager, automatically we are supposed to oppose them. We are not initially support them, but ultimately we need to go ahead with that. So with that note, I think thank you, our leadership speaker, Tony, for your insightful discussions on managing change. We learned a lot of new things, and this will really help us to becoming a better persons as a leader. And this will definitely help you in our club. Now it's time for our ceremony. Are you all ready? Our PR master, are you ready? Our peer masters, are you ready with the final?
Nukawe is ready. Nukawe is doing. She is ready with that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Nakao. So it's time for the best effort speaker. Nikwa, I just request you, please share in the screen, best effort speaker. And I urge you everyone, please unmute yourself and clap for our best speaker. Nikwa, please share your screen. Yeah. Tony, heartiest congratulations to you becoming an best effort speaker. Next, move on to our next award ceremony, best evaluator. And today we have many, oh my goodness, 4 evaluators on the same race. Toastmaster Elena, Toastmaster Sabnam, Toastmaster Bindu, and Toastmaster Leya. Everyone, please clap for all the winners for the day. Now it's time to hand over the podium to our president of our club. Toastmaster Asif, podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mrinal, for steering this meeting with a lot of encouragement, energy, specifically, because asking everybody to unmute yourself and clap for the speaker or best evaluator it requires a lot of bringing in back that energy into our meetings. It's really laudable for you. So Toastmaster Mrinal and Toastmaster Tony came up with this brilliant theme of the meeting today, and that is all about managing the change. Now, managing the change is a very crucial part of being a leader because we are in a constant world where our environment is constantly changing. And quite often we use this word as VUCA, that is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That's part of our world nowadays, and it requires how can we manage this change in this rapidly changing environment. So, well, I believe that requires 3 things, and may have been covered during the meeting as well, but most important is the growth mindset. That's the key to manage a change. Because things, when they are changing so fast, it's your ability and adaptability to understand what things can work. And I like that Tony's, that particular slogan, because that's the most important part. Like, there are things which you can change, and there are certain things which you can't change. And we've got to live with that, and we've got to move ahead as quickly as possible. So to manage a change, it also requires you to be, or we to be courageous. And as the word of the day was there, agility. And most of the corporates nowadays, agility is the key. And they're coming up with agile frameworks where, a long time back, we used to have like, your projects running for 3 to 4 years. Nowadays, that's not the way the corporates work. It's all about quick deliverables, understanding the market requirements and demands, and move as quickly as possible. And that's where, my dear fellow Toastmasters leaders, the success factor is what? Trust. Because when you want to move quickly, agile, and that's uncertainty, you got to build that trust factor. Because without that trust factor, believe me, things will fall down. However best your strategy is, as Tony mentioned, it's all about the culture, where people are all getting together or not. Well, that's whether you have your best systems or not, or processes, that all are going to fail unless until you have that proper culture in place. Now, what better a platform you would get is a Toastmasters as a platform where you can come and practice and build overcoming your fear, whether it's of the stage or whether it's of communicating to people, members, managing that power, things, negotiation, conflict resolving the conflicts, and persuading people all along, getting them to move towards a common goal. And that's what leadership has been and continuously been excelling in this particular place, especially on the digital world, because that gives a lot of plethora of opportunity, as well as there are a lot of risk involved in that. That's where you could see that, how our meetings are being conducted. There are a lot of background work goes on. And that's where I again applaud, all our members for communicating continuously on this digital world, whether in the WhatsApp or on the Easy Speak as well. So thank you all, the members and speakers and evaluators and role players, for making our meetings more and more successful and more engaging. With this in concluding, and I congratulate all the best effort evaluator and best effort speakers as well. With this, I'm looking forward to again another interesting meeting next week, same time, on an interesting topic or theme on leadership challenges. That's what is our USP, is all about leadership, and we communicate on leadership aspects as well. So it's time. Thank you all very much. I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and I'm now going to invite as well, because we're going to communicate and talk to our visitors who have been patronizing our club, and they keep coming often, and we want to learn from them as well. With this, I request our Zoom master to please stop the recording.